Well, hello there. Welcome. My name is Michelle Montana. This is my interior design YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping by if you're new here, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for returning week after week to hear me ramble about things I like to put in my house. Today, as you can see by the title, we are talking about, I have 10 different things that you can do that are renter friendly, things that you can enhance your rental with. I'd say 8 to 9 out of 10 are renter friendly 100% because I rent and I've done quite a bit of changes to my space. Now, I have a very relaxed landlord, but the things on this list are things that I've done in the past with previous rentals and things that you could do that I haven't done, but you could do it. So let us carry on with the video. So this first one is surprisingly easier than you may think that it would be. I've done it throughout my house, and again, I rent. Change your light fixtures. You don't have to keep the ugly light fixtures that your landlord picked out. I highly recommend doing this. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel better about your space. You can control the lighting in your space a little bit better. You can control how bright the light in the room is just by having a different light fixture, you know? And this is always important because overhead lighting is generally very offensive. And I know that it sounds like it's not that simple, but really it is. As long as you have access to your fuse box and I think most people do, I think you have to have access to that, and can turn your electricity off so that you can change out the fixture. You could totally do it yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you can hire a TaskRabbit. They're really not that expensive. But I did it myself in my space, and I think it made a huge difference in both my bathroom and my living room. So change your light fixtures and just keep the old ones that your landlord picked out. If you have access to storage, or if you can shove them under your bed or something, keep those so that when you move out, you just put them back up. Simple as that. The second thing is adding sconces. I actually added this little clip light to my kitchen in a previous video, and I just used that double-sided sticky tape, that like gooey tape. I don't know what it's, whatever. It's like command strip tape, and I just put it up on the tile in my kitchen, and it's been there for a few months now, so I highly recommend doing this. I always like alternative forms of light that are not the overhead lighting. So this is a good way to, if you don't have counter space like me, I had to put a little sconce in my kitchen. I have 2 sconces in my kitchen actually. One of them I did screw into the wall because I'm allowed to do that in this rental, but I know sometimes you're not allowed to do that, and I wasn't about to drill into tile, so that was my solution for this area because I couldn't put a little lamp there as much as I would have liked one. Popping up sconces. Use the command strips so that you can just take them off the wall when you're done renting. Typically when you move into a rental, the light switches and the outlets are all probably white, which is fine. I have nothing against that. I have white ones in this very room. Definitely clean them if you're gonna keep them white. Like, use a magic eraser because they get so grubby and look not nice anymore. But in my bathroom, for example, I decided to paint my bathroom a dark brown, so I didn't want bright white light fixtures and outlets, so I put black ones up instead, and it actually looked so much better because the tile in my bathroom was already black, so it kind of made more sense for the black ones to be there anyways. But this is just like an easy thing that if you're gonna paint, or if you just want something like a little bit cute, you can go on Etsy and find some different light fixture, or light switch and outlet covers that just might add a little bit more interest to your space. If they're like covered in paint and kind of like mucky, putting new ones up to just give it like a fresher look will make a difference, trust me. The facade of those are just like such an eyesore if they're really grubby looking. So definitely clean them. But if you feel like taking it a step further and swapping them out for something a little bit different, do that too. Okay, so this tip might not work for everyone depending on where you're renting, if your landlord is super strict. But putting up curtains, taking down whatever curtain rod may have been there before, and putting up new curtains, or if you have blinds, keeping those blinds all the way up. You don't have to take them down if it's too difficult to take down, but keep the blinds all the way up and have curtains to use instead. I think that having curtains will always elevate a space, obviously makes your ceilings look taller when you have curtains going all the way up to the ceiling, makes your windows look bigger. They just look nice. They look polished. I put in a track curtain system from IKEA in my apartment or house, but once I figured out how, it was super easy to put it up, and I think it made such a big difference because the curtains before, the curtain rods that my landlord put up were just like cast iron pipes or whatever those are, and they were just really ugly, and he didn't care if I took them down, so I did. But if you think your landlord might care and you still want to do it anyways, I say just ask for forgiveness, not permission. And don't listen to anything I say. I'm not liable if you listen to anything I say. So, I mean, you can ask for permission and show them maybe like a little sketch of what it would look like. If you have access to maybe Photoshop, you can like Photoshop some curtains up and be like, look how nice this would look. Can I please do this? But you have to have a cool landlord to ask permission to do stuff. I stopped asking my landlord because he doesn't care, and he was like, stop asking me. So take it with a grain of salt. It's situational, I'm sure. If it's not worth the risk to you. I have this video that I'll link that I think is a pretty underrated video because I installed shelving upstairs in my loft without screwing into the walls. I did paint. You don't have to do that. I could have painted the shelves white to match the walls, but I did paint the wall and painted everything so that it was all one color, but I didn't screw into the walls. If you have an alcove, okay, so you have a section of wall that goes back that can have two planks on the side. You just build these little ladder planks, and then you just put the shelves in, and the pressure of the shelves keeps the planks against the walls. It's like this. And you could, like, if you extended your arms all the way between two walls, how you could like stand up, or you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You could like levitate. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So the pressure keeps everything together, and you don't need to screw into the walls. So if you have an alcove, you should totally do this because it's a no-brainer. You don't have to screw into the walls. Ooh, you could even like wallpaper the shelves. That could be cute. Okay, again, you can watch the video that I did it in. I'm not sure how well I explained what I was doing, but I tried to show. I don't know, if you have questions, you can message me on Instagram or you know, put it in the comments or something. I'll help you. I'm not the first person to say this. I'm not the last. Peel and stick wallpaper. In my old apartment, I did peel and stick wallpaper in my kitchen, and it was like a fake backsplash looking thing. I wouldn't choose this again. In photos it looked nice, but up close, I mean, it cleaned nice as well. Up close you could just tell it wasn't tile, which will bring me to my next point in a second, but before and after, that's a transformation I can get behind because it made such a big difference in that space. Like, the walls were blue, so it was like pretty dark in that little nestled in kitchen, and so it really brightened up the walls, and I was very happy with it. I was very pleased with that. Those shelves too, my dad had built for me because I asked him to. They weren't there before. All that was empty space. Is that crazy? If you want to see more about my old apartment that I used to live in before I got married, before I met my husband, I loved that apartment. But I have a highlight reel on my Instagram if you want to check it out. It was really cute. It was like my little French Parisian little apartment. I miss it every day. Okay, so speaking of fake tile, you can put up these click-in tiles. I'm gonna show you this video. They're completely renter friendly. You tape up the backing, and then you click the tiles into place, and you can cut the tiles, and you can do whatever you need so that everything fits around light switches and outlets and all of that. I think this is a genius solution for renters. I wish I could put them up in my space, but I have real tile everywhere, and they're super cute, and you can pick different colors. You can trade out your colors later. The guy who created this company actually used to be a contractor or something, and he was sick of taking out old tile. So this is like the perfect solution, because even if you own your home and you know that maybe you're gonna want to change your color of your tiles in a few years, you can actually send back your old tiles. I know that even if you have leftovers from your current project, you can send over your leftover tiles and they'll give you a deposit back. But they recycle the tiles, and you can put up new colors if you want to in a couple of years. It's a really genius company, so highly recommend. And you can go on TikTok and type in click-in tile and look at all the different transformations that people have done using the tile. I mean, it's pretty cool. Okay, this may seem obvious to some, but I don't think that it's obvious to everybody. If you have furniture that came with your rental, like I had a stainless steel island in my kitchen, as well as a couple of bar stools. If you have access to storage, like I have a little basement, or if you have like a storage locker or something, you don't have to keep those things. Like you can put them away and put something else there. Like it's the easiest solution if you don't want to look at the furniture that came with your rental. For me, I just felt like stainless steel in my kitchen made it a little bit too sterile. So I wanted something a little bit warmer in my space, and that was what I did. I put in a wooden workbench as my island instead of the stainless steel, just like IKEA, whatever that island thing is, table. If you have access to storage and you have rental furniture in your rental that your landlord won't take out or whatever, it doesn't have to sit there. You don't have to work with it. You don't have to work around it. If it's like a sofa or something, I know that's a little bit more tricky, but there's ways that you can style sofas, like maybe something like this, so that you can like cover up whatever heinous fabric is on the sofa to begin with. But I like this kind of like draped over look, so I think that's like an easy solution too. Cover it up or haul it out. Okay, this might be a little controversial because like if your landlord were to see this and would be mad, but I have yellow doors inside my house. I have my front door is yellow on the inside. It's like a real buttery yellow. It's like melted butter, dandelion. And in my kitchen, I have like a window pane yellow door as well. If it were up to me, I would paint them like maybe a dark red or something, but my husband likes them, so he won't let me change them. But it's just something that you could paint back before you leave, you know? A door is not a whole room, and this room was gray beforehand, but now it's white. And if all I needed to do was just change the door color to make myself a little bit happier every day instead of seeing this yellow thing, I would totally do that. And I wish I could. And I'll continue to try to whittle my husband down to give in to me, but he lets me do so much already that, you know, I try to respect when he's like, no, I like that, leave it. I'm such a good wife. I'm a saint. I'm a saint. You could totally paint things back when you're done. That goes for walls too, if you want to do all that as well. But you can always paint things back. And you know, if you live in somewhere like New York City, I saw this on something. I think I was watching like a Homeworthy tour a while ago. And this guy, he said something like, you're never going to get your deposit back anyways. So do whatever you want with your space. Genius. If you're not missing your deposit, if you don't like desperately need your deposit, and if you have like a landlord who's like maybe a stickler and not going to give you your deposit back anyways, do whatever you want. Do what you want. Okay, this is something that I regret not doing in my last apartment, because let's go back to my kitchen. These knobs are in like every single rental ever, right? If you have a white cabinet kitchen, it is likely that you have these silver knobs, and it would have been so simple for me to swap them out and do something like this instead. I think at the time I remember looking for knobs for a while and just couldn't find something that I really liked. And when I was really working on my apartment, it was like during the pandemic. I so regret not starting my YouTube channel back then, because boy did I have content. But it was during the pandemic, so it was really hard to get things in, you know, a certain time frame. I didn't know, I mean, I wanted to live there forever, but I was also impatient too. I was like, I don't want to wait like 10 weeks to get something. I'm going to keep looking. So I totally could have swapped out my knobs. My point is, swap your knobs. You keep the original knobs and you put on new ones. And when you're moving out, that's right, you put back the old knobs. It may seem silly to like make all of these changes, but I know that like if you're here watching this video, you care about your space. And so to me, it's like a no-brainer. Like, of course I'm gonna invest in this stuff because nesting makes me happy. And I assume nesting makes you happy. And again, that's why you're on my channel today. In my opinion, these investments are all worth it, and you can easily take it all with you. I didn't invest in a French light fixture to just leave it here when I'm done renting this house. Of course I'm gonna take it with me wherever I go, you know? Or worst case scenario, you sell them on Facebook Marketplace and you take a tiny L, you know, because you probably lost some money on the investment. I say there's a fine line between wasteful investment, like painting, it's pretty wasteful. You're never gonna get that money back. But making yourself happy, I think it's worth it. If the gray color in this room made me so sad that I was like, I can't take it anymore, I'm painting the walls white. And so I did. If you want to see all the transformations that I did in this very room, I mean, now it's been a year and I've made even more changes. Well, if you're enjoying this video, feel free to watch the rest of my videos. Continuing with knobs though, if you have really ugly doorknobs like this, go antiquing and try to find some like antique doorknobs. So I'm in favor of replacing all knobs. Last but not least, it's the easiest thing you can do. If you can't do any of the things that I said, okay, buy some art. The easiest way to cover up your walls is to have art on them. And this is also something that maybe you don't have to buy. Maybe you invite all of your friends over and you have a painting party, and maybe it's really ugly, but you made a memory. And you can look on YouTube for how to stretch a canvas. You can stretch the canvas and you can lean it against your wall. You don't even have to hang it if you can't hang it. Highly recommend putting some art in your space because it's the easiest way to make a change that's not permanent and not going to leave any damage. And if you really want to hang it up, I mean, you can do command hooks and do all of that stuff. If you, okay, major tip, okay? If you want something like this right here, okay? This is like a big old canvas, right? If you want to do something like that in your space, go to Harbor Freight. You know what? I'll just link it for you. You can buy drop cloth canvas. It's down in the description for you. Drop cloth canvas. It's like $10 for like a massive thing of canvas. You can paint on it or you can draw on it. Buy some spray paints and have your friends like come over and like, I mean, half of this is, that's spray paint. This is, I don't know, maybe an oil bar. I'm not the artist, my husband is, but do blind contours of each other. Ooh, I love a good blind contour. I'm really good at them actually. Buy some lumber, stretch the canvas, and it's really light. This is like super light. I can hang this up by myself easily because there's not a lot of weight to it. My point is, it would hang on command hooks if that's how you would have to hang it up. Or again, if it's big enough, you can just lean it against the wall and it's covering up that hideous buttery yellow that your landlord chose. I'm so sorry. That's it. Those are my tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. I was very chatty today, apparently. If you guys have any other tips or tricks or ideas, feel free to leave them in the comments. Things that are renter friendly, that is making minimal damage to how scary rentals can be. Ooh, you know what? This is a big tip. Bonus tip, everybody. If you have wall-to-wall carpeting that's very ugly, stained, who knows what is living on that rug, get the biggest rug you can find. Go somewhere like Big Lots or something. Like, have your mom take you to one of those like superstores, because you know your mom has the Costco membership and you don't. At least that's how it works in my family. Have her take you to a big store and get the biggest rug you can find and put that over your really ugly carpeting. Or Facebook Marketplace, of course. You can get like a massive Persian rug for maybe like $100, $200 if you're lucky. That's my last tip. Okay, just cover it up. You know, it goes with like if you have like a rental sofa, cover it up. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. It really makes my day, and I really appreciate it. Fingers crossed for me, you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys next week a big change that's happening in my life. So send me all the good vibes, because I'm gonna wait till I have a week of this new thing under my belt before I tell you guys about it. But I'm gonna be finally doing a video that I've had quite a few requests about my job history. So that's coming next week. I'll see you guys next Sunday. Love you, bye.